Hello my friends at Truth Channel, a shocking story about a bloodthirsty serial killer that is not recommended for the faint of heart. Let's start the story. A history of crime and murder, Joseph Meath stands out as one of the serial killers who used gruesome means to abuse victims after disposing of them, so much so that he served them as a barbecue for his guests, unbeknownst to them, of course, according to recent reports. Serial killer Joseph Methenny was known by many nicknames, including the Cannibal, Joe Methenny, Joe, and others. He was fat and thirsty for blood. Most of his crimes took place in the early 1990s, although some date back to 1976. Early Joseph was one of 6 siblings to a much-disclosed working father, and his mother was Jane Methenny, from whom he took his surname. At an early age his family moved to North Point Boulevard in Essex, Maryland in search of a better income. At the age of 6, his father died in a car accident, which was difficult for his mother, who said, "It was not easy for me, especially providing for the children's needs, and I did everything I could to keep them." Methy victims. It wasn't a random killer atmosphere. He chose his victims carefully and practiced the most terrible forms of intimidation. For example, in 1995, he lured 2 prostitutes, Kathy and Magaziner, 45, and Kimberly Spicer, 26, to his trailer, before eventually stabbing and strangling them to death, then cutting and cooking their bodies, then selling them to his customers. Pork burger. He said in an interview, "I had good sandwiches, and no one could suspect them or know where they came from. No one would have known the difference between them and pork." After the 2 previous women ran out of food, he decided to seduce another named Rita Kemper, about whom he says that he began to tear her clothes and hit her with constant laughter from him, while she was crying. But she turned from him for a split second, and managed to escape from him through the door. She managed to cross a barrier in the outer fence 10 feet high and reached the street to call the police and then arrested him. His confessions. Methy was a known murderer and rapist, without knowing his identity, or proving any crime against him at first, and later confessing to killing 10 women from the Baltimore area, showing no remorse for his victims even though he collapsed once in court. Reports say the man, who had said he was ill after his conviction, collapsed in court as he watched the affection of the mother of one of his victims, Kimberly Spicer. In the 1990s Kimberly Spicer, Tony Lynn and Gracia, and Catherine O. Kathy and Magaziner were murdered, and according to reports, his death sentence for murdering a Magaziner was overturned in 2000, continuing to serve a life sentence. On August 5, 2017, the man who sold his victims meat sandwiches publicly in live ended at the age of 62. Joe spent about 20 years in the Western Correctional Institution in Maryland, where he had his own cell. Gerard Shields, a spokesman for the Department of Public Safety and Correctional Services, said he was found dead in his cell at 3 a.m., and police said at the time that they were investigating how he died. We are sorry for the victims who were killed by the serial killer. Here our story has ended. I hope you will click like and subscribe to the channel to receive all new. Goodbye my friends.